would like to welcome everybody back to my channel. And as you can see, we're out front here. Today, we're gonna start by visiting the barn. Well, actually, we'll start by opening a few cases here to see what we might find in there. Assuming we do find a barn, find the two, we'll go ahead and visit those barn locations and see if we could find a good vehicle to rebuild just to get started off with, and as well as some parts and everything to fix those parts, both the mechanical parts and the body parts. And then we'll go ahead and see if we can find some scrap before we get started with that build, and go ahead and start with that rebuild. After we get through rebuilding that, we'll go ahead and move into taking some orders, repairing some vehicles, and from there, I'm just going to give you guys the choice on what you'd like to do. Uh, we'll see where it goes from there. But, alright, so let's just get started here. We're just going to get the weather here, see how that looks. It's looking pretty good. I mean, I see some clouds back there, look a little dark, but doesn't look too bad. I mean, we ain't got much traffic running through like usual. We got a few cars here and there. At this one, I see a car like that driving by. But let's go ahead and get started. Trying not to run down the street. Right? We're in the garage. Let's go ahead and check out the inventory. I got another case. And some experience. We should move on to level 59 here soon. Another case in a barn find. And another case and some experience. Another case with some bonus scrap points. That's cool. That's 741. Imagine how many items, even with the bonus, we'd have to go through to get that much. And got some credits and a barn location. Experience, putting us up to level 59. And some bonus scrap parts. That's nice. Bonus scrap parts and a barn location. Sweet. So we got about 3 barn locations. We're going to collect on those and go ahead and start by checking those out. Barn locations. Fun, fun. Fun to the fun. To the fun. You know? Fun to the fun. I heard my voice in the background. That's just me confirming a few things. But let's go ahead and get the layout here. So we got a little room over here. We got here a room. Look at that. This looks like F-250, 350. Okay. I do like trucks. Might pick that up. Alright, so we got a lead in over here. Got a taxi cab that looks like an old Ford Victoria. Of course, not that old. And what looks like a Caprice. Alright. And I did see another area leading over here. I thought it would connect with that area, but apparently not. So, I'm just going to start by collecting some parts. Ooh, moves like Mick Jagger, though I will not be purchasing the hood. It does have moves, much like Mick Jagger. Water pump, a must. Oh, look, we got another case. And not the bad kind, you know. Never had one of those, thankfully. That's why I live a boring life. Alright, so we got the truck, we got the Victoria, and we got the Caprice looking vehicle. Let's see what kind of condition the truck is in. I just found kind of a photo album my mother was actually making for me to look through when I got older. She told me this, oh, so many years ago, I can't remember how many, but she would have been in her probably early 30s at the time. She made this for me to look through, I guess, and remember things, which, at the time I really didn't care about it. But I found it in the basement the other day, and it had a note from one of my attendants in the daycare. Uh, just, it was a leaving note. I guess I was graduating from the daycare or something. But it mentioned that I enjoyed coloring things, trucks, and like one other thing. I guess playing with toys or something like that. But thought it was kind of funny. I do like trucks, so kind of made sense. But I have 381 horsepower with this, 5,410 RPM, and looks like it's a V8 Ford Boss rear-wheel drive. It's got that Boss engine. That engine that conveys Boss material. So, yeah, I kind of like the Boss. Kind of a fan of that engine, to be honest. So I might just buy it just for that. But I think I already have another 350. Actually, I know I have another 350, so I'm not really looking to stack up on the 350. So I do like the engine. And the other ones are not really anything I'd be interested in. So looks like we have about 2,705 credits. With a 15% discount, that brings us to 2,300 credits worth of parts. So we'll go ahead and purchase those. And with that, I'm just going to save this game real quick. There was one setting that I should have changed a long time ago. Might have to exit real quick to do it. Save this and settings. Let's see here. Since we are in the imperial form of measurement here in the United States for whatever godforsaken reason, when the rest of the world is not, they're with the metric system, which we should be. But since we're not of scientific mindset, I guess, we're more of imperialism. I'm just going to change that over to imperial. So we could start seeing what kind of foot-pounds of torque we get. Foot-pounds of torque. Yeah. All right. Just thought I'd put that in there. And we'll move to the next barn location. Alright, so we got this area here. Now it is a taxi cab, it looks like, but it's from China, so looks probably a pretty cool vehicle. Actually, definitely probably gonna purchase that one. Keep that in my garage. Got a weird layout here. Cab, and we got this one. It's a little tiny for me. And not really a special vehicle at all. This area. And what looks like a Crown Vic with the wagon version. It's good. That's got those white wall tires though. That's the cool and the special paint job. Something you might go on a family vacation in. It would have been great back in the 80s. Hell, it'd be great now with all the room in it. But, these cars are not kept up. You don't see many of those on the road today. So, let's go ahead and start by grabbing some parts. Grabbing some parts. We're gonna get the parts, we're gonna grab them, and we're gonna take them back to the garage to repair said parts. Look at that, an RX-7 front bumper. Supercharger intake manifold, that's useful. Oh, yes, intake manifold. Whoa. Very rare camshaft bearing, I'm not going to worry about that. Ford 350 Super Duty door. Might see if we get any of those in the shop today for repair. See if we can put that on it. I think we should be able to repair those vehicle seats in this game, Because all you'd have to do is just, get the rust out of it, if it has any rust, after you unupholster it, and then reupholster it, and you have a new seat. It's not like something you can't actually repair in real life, It's just not the conventional type of repair you would get in the shop. It's something that you would generally probably send out for, but still. is in the DLC. It's got about 168,959 miles on it too. Not the worst. 158 horsepower, 16 dual overhead cam engine. Can't put in anything else. That's definitely something I'd like to purchase for a rebuild. We'll go ahead and move there. Return to the garage. I got parts valuing at 3,924 credits with a 15% discount. That brings us to 3,336 credits. So we'll go ahead and make that purchase and take it on over. Do the shop. Do the shop. Alright, we're back at the shop. And we're just gonna go back over to our third barn location. See if we might be able to find any other vehicles. Figure they generally take approximately an hour to rebuild. So, if we do, we could check those out for rebuild. Ooh. Supernova. Volt Supernova. I cannot recall if I have one. But it does have that 446 pack engine exclusively. So I will go ahead and buy that to get to the garage. And with that, let's go ahead and get started picking out parts. Got another case. GTR bumper. You notice I got a GTR in my banner on my YouTube page. Looks pretty cool. Fortunately, it's not mine. I'm more look into practical vehicles at my age. Sports cars. I would love to have a truck. Like a Chevy Colorado would be nice. If they have the Echo fuel option, which I don't believe they do. Or the cylinder shutdown where it shuts down the cylinders when you're not using it. Otherwise, I'd just go with the 4x4 6-cylinder option, which is both fuel economy as well as towing capacity to tow my trailer all around the United States. That would be nice. And then, maybe if I can get on a boat, you know, with the vehicle as well as the trailer, you could actually go to different countries too. So that'd be cool. But at this time, I am in between jobs, showing no ability to be able to get a job, given the terrible rumors going around about me that are 95% lies. So, that's wonderful. really, really frustrates me. But trying to keep it up, you know, keep the mood up. All right. Didn't have too many parts, or not parts, but vehicles. Not too interesting. I mean, this one is kind of cool. Salem Flammo. When have you ever seen a Salem Flammo? Front end of it reminds me of an older Corolla. Well, so does the back end, to be honest. They were styled better back then. I mean, nowadays it's not as practical. You know, they don't have many hatchbacks coming out nowadays, which provided you with a great amount of room in the trunk to put so many groceries, assuming you have, you know, money to buy food, which, you know, in between jobs, you know, it's questionable these days. I sometimes imagine what I could buy, you know, if I had a decent job again and I didn't get screwed out of it because somebody decided to frame me for something I never did. Yeah, yeah, that would be nice. But again, not trying to get down. You know, it's Friday. We're supposed to be happy, supposed to be up. Got 114 horsepower in this little tiny engine and 132 foot-pounds of torque. 14 single overhead cam BMJ. That fascinates me. 12,000 after upgrades. 11,550. I think I'll go ahead and buy that. We're gonna buy that. We are, and we're gonna move it to the car parking. And I'm gonna return to the garage with 4,663 credits worth of parts. The final discount of 15% brings it to 3,964. So we'll go ahead and buy that. Chances are I'm going to keep all these vehicles. I really got to stop doing that because if you look up at my credits, they're dropping a little below 1,000,000. So I don't like to see that. Next video is going to be about making money, you know, like rebuilding vehicles again, getting back to the basics, I guess. Well, actually, the basics would be this one because we're going to take some orders here in a bit. That's what you start out doing. But, all right, so we're looking around here. I think I'll go ahead and get started on repairing those mechanical parts. Oh, you heard that thump. I missed the green section. Thankfully not the part. Turbocharger, that's useful. Get those rims. Front cross member. Front cross to the member. Exhaust manifold and a crankshaft. Gotta have those leaf plates. Those are important on those older boats. Again, the name of this channel is twitch.tv/JASHN2000. Again, that's twitch.tv/JASHN2000. Tell your friends about it. Tell your family. Post it on a very popular news site. You know, do whatever you feel necessary to get the word out. You could even dismerge it, you know. I know a lot of people like the first video I made on my YouTube channel, that being youtube.com/JASHN2000, where it goes over the beginning guide for this game. Beginner's guide if you're just getting started out playing it. I want to check that out. Alright, so we got those parts repaired. Move on to the body parts repair. 9 pages of body parts. I don't usually get that much. I guess I kind of increased my variety of body parts I decided to buy with this one. Instead of only getting the vehicle for getting the shop often. I went with some vehicles we don't, like that Hamilton there. And the Mayan. And the Reno Piccolo. The Tempest Magnum part, we got one of those out front. That I made in a Twitch stream just Wednesday. We rebuilt that vehicle. I was very happy with that paint job. And that is why it's sitting out front. Alright, so we do got those repaired. Let's go ahead and see if we have any brake discs. We don't need to last any brake discs, so we're good on that. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this rebuild by moving it over to the car wash. At the car wash, yeah. Alright, with the pressure. And we'll go ahead and vacuum it. Alright, so let's go ahead and move that out front and check out that interior. It's a pretty unique build. So this is definitely imported, as you can see. We only have the seat on that end. No bucket seats or anything in the back. Let's take that out, and see what needs to be put in. Alright, so let's go ahead and check on the interior parts. Steering wheel is not in the list. It's kind of weird, you know. Never seen a interior where the steering wheel didn't show up. Let's go ahead and put that in there. That in there. Put in that bench seat. We got 98% on the RX-3 one. Kind of just want to stick with the one it came with. No. I think that was it. Put in that one. Alright, so got the engine there. And we'll go ahead and start by removing the body parts. Alright, let me just take one up around, make sure. Take that one off. I think I'm going to keep that part off. Alright, looks like we got all of those. Oh, we can go ahead and start by lifting up the vehicle. And taking off the tires. In fact, while we're doing that, we're just going to move this over and drain the oil. What little oil was in there? Oh, we got down brakes in the back. Ground brakes in the back and disc brakes in the front. Kind of normal for a vehicle such as this. So I'm just going to start on the back here. this is weird. It didn't come with a starter. Take that off and go over to here. Alright, let's go ahead and remove some of the parts from the engine bay. That should be good. And we'll go ahead and get that engine left here. Pull that engine out. Move the front exhaust section. Oh yes, we could usually access that from the bottom of the vehicle, but when I was down there, it did not seem like we could. And I guess the reason is because the manifolds are designed in a way that would prevent that. So, let's go ahead and lift the vehicle up again here and get those removed. Alright, so now we can go ahead and put it down and we will see about getting that engine pulled here in just 1 second. Alright, let's go ahead and pull that engine out. And we'll move that back over there. Put that engine on the lift. and go ahead and start with the welding of said vehicle. Finish with that, so put that back over there. And check here to see which ones need to be lead or resurfaced, however you'd like to word it. And start with the engine teardown. Oh, this is actually a straight 8-cylinder. That was pretty cool. I don't think I've worked with a game like an engine like this in this game before. If I have, it's quite some time ago. Gears now, and monitor, and start by getting these off. Alright, so now we can start by taking that brake out here and on that one while we're repairing these mechanical parts. Like we got about 9 pages. Pages left. And 2 pages left. Page left. And completed. So we'll move over to repairing the body parts now. Looks like we got about 2 pages of those. Alright, got those repaired. We'll go ahead and pull this off there. And while we're working on the vehicle, I'm just going to start by removing that tire from the rim and separating these shock absorbers here. Or the springs from the shock absorbers, I should say. Let's go ahead and start by lifting up the vehicle. And start on those mechanical parts. And that's what it is. just a few parts here. Two of those. There we go. Before we go back there, we can take that off. Oh, not dual exhaust, just for a straight line. Alright, so we can go ahead and move up to the front now. I like to put in that front cross member first. Looks like we weren't able to repair it for this vehicle, so we'll add that in there. Start with the knuckles. Front steering knuckle cover. Well, knuckle A. And then the knuckle cover. And let's get that bearing. Oh. Member, and we'll put that drive shaft on there along with the bushings. Go ahead and add that in there. Get this little suspension arm. All right. That in there. And before we move further, I believe those were the A's, if I'm not mistaken. Turn that off. We'll get started on repairing the rim. Already got all the rims repaired, so we're just going to go ahead and check on the tire sizes. See what they are before we can put that on. We need to put the shock absorber and the spring combo in there in order to put the sway bar front end link in. this in. We'll go ahead and add that. And go to tires. We're looking at vintage tire B. Both sizes, front and back, are the same. So that's going to be 14,195.80. 14,195.80. We'll get 4 of those. And to the 14-inch rims. 14-inch rims. Rims, 14. Alright, perfect. So we got those. And I'm going to go ahead and get these added. Alongside that other shock absorber spring combination. Right here. Sway bar. And tire. Alright, got those. So, got all that in. Let's go ahead and check upon the rebuilding of said engine. We could just drop that in there, put in the engine compartment parts. We'll be off. Oof. Yeah, that was a bad move. Oh no. There we go. Now we can put it back down. And pull the engine. Perfect. Now we can put that back over here. And go ahead. So I'm just going to add that to the list as well. We'll move to the back here, where I believe we have a flywheel in the inventory, as well as the rest of the clutch parts, except for the pressure plate apparently, which we'll add as well. get like 50 of those. 50. 50. And pressure plate. Perfect. So, we'll go over here, put that in there. Holy. And water filter. Preparation to put those pistons in. Looks like we also need some rings. Get 50 of those as well. we did get the wires. Upside down, and I'm just gonna step away for one moment and I'll be right back with you guys. Find a little odd I can't put in the exhaust pipe here while we have the engine on the engine lift, but let's go ahead. Yeah. Let's go ahead and remove it, I guess. We'll remove it and put it back in the vehicle, and we should be able to do that. Don't have any time left. And engine stand. Install. And we'll go ahead and get those manifolds in. Oh, looks like we need that part first, so start with the brake servo. And let's go ahead and put these fuses in here. And get the fuse cover, fuse box cover, A, which apparently we had quite a few of those. And the radiator in stock too. That is not an everyday thing. So now that we got those, we got the fuel pump in the back there. We'll go ahead and lift it up and put that exhaust in there. Alright, so now I'm just gonna get started putting back on the body parts. I do think is a cool touch is the mirrors being out front. I wonder how efficient that would be when driving in comparison to the location of the mirrors nowadays. Yeah, we already know the glass. Get the tail lights here. And Arizona plates. Arizona. Well, this is a little weird. We have no part for the Securitara. Anybody have any ideas on this one? I'd love to hear them. And we do have part for the Tacoma, or however you say that, and the Secura GT20. So I'm gonna see if any of these parts might work with our build. My nose, there's no glass here. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's gonna work. Yeah, I'm not certain what's going on there. Let me check something here. Pretty certain that it's attributed to a bug or a hacker again. Surprise, surprise. Uh, Takumi. looks about right. Takumi truck. I wish we had Takumi glass. Guess this ain't looking good. Not looking good for the glass. This is definitely a first. Let's try some. Well, I think we'll just be going with the stock headlights and tail lights, I guess. I really don't know what else to do. Apparently you can't come upon parts for this vehicle. It is not a vehicle that you see too often, I guess. So, either case, I'm going to be putting fluids in now. We'll go ahead and move it to the dyno and see what we've got. Engine can't be started. Alright. Probably because the starter's missing. Oh no. That is not something that I would imagine me ever forgetting. But given we put the engine in a different order today, it kind of makes sense. We might forget that. Definitely not going to start without it. Alright, let's see where we are now. 58 horsepower, 6,560 RPM, 138 foot-pounds of torque at 5,225 RPM to start. We made it up to 160 horsepower with 6,570 RPM, 140 foot-pounds of torque with 5,225 RPM, putting an average of 2% increase across the board. That's 2 horsepower and 2 foot-pounds of torque added. That places us in drag rating class E78. So slow, but very rare, which is the reason I purchased it. That's the rarity of the vehicle. And with that, I think I'm going to move it back over to the lift and see about getting a very light paint up to it here. You know, just a very light tint. Not anything extravagant. I don't even want it that. Oblique, I guess you would say. There we go. And we will take it to the paint shop right after we get through washing it here. Car washing. Looking good. Let's go and move to the paint shop. And check on the paint jobs available. This one looks kind of like the Sentinel in the original Grand Theft Auto. I believe it was in Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, and 3, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it's still in there. Let's see about those Liberties. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Taxi. Kind of adds to the rarity. I think I'm going to go with the yellow one. It really stands out in comparison to others. That is cool. Alright, so let's move it out front here, where we could take a look. Had that extremely refined from a barn. Take a quick picture there. We're definitely going to want to take a shot of the engine bay. Very unique inline 8-cylinder with such a little amount of horsepower. Is amazing. But alright, we'll put that in the parking. Now, we also got this one. What do we have here? We have about an hour and 20 minutes left here. I don't think I really want to start on this rebuild, though. I would like to pay attention to those big rear tires lifting up the rear of the vehicle really high. Well, you gotta imagine the holding capacity of the trunk must be pretty substantial with the suspension up so high in the rear. It's funny looking. Either case, let's go ahead and get it a car wash. At least we can do is clean it out a bit. Turns out the paint job looks pretty good. Got that one bucket seat in there, that's pretty cool. Power transmission manual. A from us. We'll go ahead and move that to the parking. Alright, so we're back here. Before I get started on some orders here, I did want to look into scrapping a few parts out that I couldn't repair. That way we'll know what kind of scrap parts we have available. So let's go ahead and do that. Salvage item for scrap. We got about 58 pages of items under 100%. Not too bad with the scrapbook. Look at that. I didn't realize that some of them offered big bonuses than others. That's pretty nifty. I don't know how I didn't see that before, but alright, let's get started. And 2, 3, 4, 5, be dumb. So that is completed. And there's quite a few scrap parts available at this point, so that's kind of nice. And with that, shall move to the phone. Let me see something though, real quick. I'm just curious. Alright, let's go ahead and move to some orders here. This one has a bunch of problems. Oh, looks like it's gone now. There we go. Roadster. And we'll go ahead and move that in here. Hopefully a new paint job is in the list. Got replacing the air filter, fuel filter, and oil filter. Repair engine faults. Fix suspension clunks and rattles. General gear control problems. Loud exhaust. And 9 to 14% increase in horsepower. It looks like a 53% base. We'll just start with the filters. That oil filter, so we'll be changing out that oil as well. Now, since it mentioned something about engine faults, I did want to run the compression test, see what's going on there. So we'll have to tear apart the engine just to get to the piston rings. Kind of a pain, but sure the spark plugs. Some of them are gonna need replaced. Looks like one of them in this case. Not too bad there. Ignition coils were good as well. Like we have 2 camshaft caps that are going to need to replace as well. Crankshaft pulley. Need to replace that. Looks like we have a fuel injector that will need replaced as well. Possibly a belt tenser. Yeah, belt tenser. Alright, so let's go over here and find out which one of these rings needs replaced, so we don't take out all of them. It's like that one on the far passenger side there, so go ahead and lift it up and we'll drain that oil. While we're doing that, we might as well start taking apart the suspension parts that are rattling. Looks like it doesn't want to let us, so we'll just put that away and now we'll start. Suspension arm, looks like the bushings are in good condition, but since we're replacing the part, I'll replace the bushings for them as well. Don't like to put old bushings in a new part. Doesn't make any sense. And we will need to remove that front sway bars. Need to do that, so we'll do that right now. And this off. Move that exhaust while we're at it. And now that we got the oil drain, we could take off that cap, or the rim, whatever you'd like to call it, and see about getting to that ring we need to get replaced. Before I put the vehicle down, I'm just going to remove some of these exhaust pipes, get those replaced real quick. 14 is definitely not a common one. We got the noise problem taken care of right there. And to get that engine problem, well, the ring replaced, not really the entire engine problem yet. Not until we get those other parts in there. The piston was good, so we'll put that in. And just replace that ring. With that, I think I'll lift it on up again. And put that bottom part back together. Oh, I don't need that. think this bushing is going to need to be replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that. Filter, the oil filter. Oh yeah, I did have to remove that. Spark plugs, we got all those back. Still got the clanks and rattles, so let's go ahead and get all that put back on here. I don't believe there's any suspension parts in there that are going to be honestly, I'm thinking it might be that top part over here. That might be causing it. But if you look at the cap on this front shock absorber end, it was a little bad off. We'll separate that. Yeah, it's at 10%. So we'll replace that. And we can keep these on. Just need to replace that one. And see how that turns out. Well, that's one of them. Alright, checked out all the bushings, I believe, on this portion. So I do believe they should be good. Let's go ahead and put that down. And 61% on that, so that'll be alright. Shaft. Got that shaft. Got that gear. Should be good on that. And the item. Put that down. Replace that. Intake manifold. That's good. Most of those are pretty good. Just need to replace 2 of them. I said 53, right? Yeah, 53. I guess that does line up. Belt replacement and 2 caps. turbo back in. And that should be about it besides the injectors. I'm trying to try and get a better angle on. Put that throttle on as well. We just need a new one there. And we can use these ones for the rest. Alright. Still missing that belt tensor. We'll get that replaced. And the timing cover. With that, we can put the crankshaft pulley back on there. We need to get a new one of those. With the belt B. And done that. Alright, so now we still have a little bit of that. It says replace, get it up to 14% maximum performance. If it's a turbo, you know, I'm just gonna go with the turbo. And that'll get us 7% on the 14B turbo. So I'm gonna go ahead and tune that up. Should be around 9 or 10, which should do it for us. But for the moment being, I'm just gonna place you on a quick hold. I gotta go check something out, and I'll be right back with you. Alright. As you can see, we're just looking for that turb to the O. To go ahead and tune. Yeah, I was saying while I was muted. Muted? What the fuck does that mean? While I was muted, that I didn't realize you could tune the batteries too. Because when I came back, I forgot to take my headset off of mute. It usually will remind me. I guess this time it's trying to screw with me. It's like, let's not tell him anything. Shh. See how far he goes before he finds out. Like, Jesus. Turb to the O. Where is it? Keep so many parts in my inventory, it's not even funny. I'm really thinking about going back to, you know, just getting a few at a time at this point, because every time I go to tune on something, there's like over 100 pages I gotta go through. When instead of 50, if I would have just gone with, like, let's say 16 or 24 pistons in denominations of 8, of course, because I usually work on 8-cylinder engines. Then, you know, I wouldn't have to scroll through all of this, or on these rear shock absorber caps, or the rear springs. I mean, just get so many of them, which is completely unnecessary, other than making it more convenient when I'm rebuilding an engine, which it does, but I'm really contemplating on if that convenience outweighs the time that would be saved on scrolling through every single one of these parts just to get to a small part I'm looking to tune. With that being said, we did just pass the superchargers. Wouldn't that be great? Put on there, you know. Place that turbo with a supercharger, but it doesn't really work that way. We gotta go with a turb to an O and a turb to an O engine. There are a few vehicles that will allow both, though very rare. I believe we got a 9 on that, which is perfect. Just needed to increase the size of the turbo to performance and then tune a little. We got our 9.1 increase in performance. So with that, I will wonder why I didn't put that tire back on yet. Sitting here wondering. And I'll put that tire back on. Just like so. There you go. So now we're just gonna put that down there. And check on this. Suspension clinky clinky. That's not cool. It's a clinkly, little clinkly clink 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 suspension. And I don't like that, you know? I prefer my suspension not to clinkety clink when it's doing its suspension thing. Don't see anything there. Oh, there it is. See that? Wheel hub bearing is rusted out. So we'll go ahead and put that up. And replace that rear wheel hub bearing. I don't often see wheel hub bearings in the rear of the vehicle. There we go. Put that back down. Just to close the hood. Well, and refill the oil. I need to refill real quick. And should be good to go. It is 4,906 credits. Nice. So, let's go ahead and see what the next one brings. Salem Fastback. Let's just get this one since we have about 30 seconds left. And that has such little stuff to do on it. So I'm gonna get this one, the Salem Fastback as well. And move them both in to their respective lifts. Oops, moved them both to lift B. Move him to lift A then. Salem, we'll worry about in a less priority. Looks like we got gears shaking. I could already tell you just by looking under the hood, the gearbox needs replaced, and that'll take care of that one. The rest look like body parts as well as headlights. At least a left tail headlight and a right tail light. So that shouldn't be too hard. Let's go ahead and lift her up. This is an inverted engine, so we will need to take off the tires in order to take off the front drive axles to get to the drive shaft that we'll also need to replace to take off the gearbox. Makes it so much more work. That isn't 10%, so let's see if we have a new one, which we do. We can put that drive shaft back on. Oops, let's take that one off. That's one of my drive shafts I had in storage. Put the one on it came with. And we'll put that tire right on. Perfect. Got those back on. And we will go ahead and put the vehicle down. Vehicle down. Take out that left headlight, rear, right tail light, trunk. And a bunch of glass we need to replace too, I believe. That front window, right door window, front bumper, rear bumper, windshield as well. Rear left door window, rear right door window. So with that, let's get the glass replaced real quick, as well as that left headlight and the bumpers. The trunk we should be able to repair. Get that right tail light repaired. Honestly, we'll be able to repair that front bumper too, so we'll just go ahead and do that now. I need to do that. Front bumper and the rear bumper. Perfect. Now, we'll move over to the body shop. Get this ordered. want to do that. There we go. Put that back on there. And the rear bumper, the trunk, the right tail light, and the license. Made a bad idea and chose Maine instead of Arizona, as Maine is a fishing town, 1, and 2, the ocean is polluted with radiation, both Pacific and Atlantic now, which is terrible. Very upset about that. And 3, it is cold in Maine. You know, that's kind of why the fishing town part was bad with the radiated ocean, thereby, you know, you bring in a lot of fish, and guess what else is radiated? Everything the fish goes into. So, you know. So, we'll go ahead and finish up this order by putting back on the starter. We had the takeoff when removing the gearbox. That might be a good idea, right? There we go. And finish. That was 5,042 made easy. Let's see what we have here. Fuel filter, oil filter, and air filter. Timing chain, cam gear, water pump. Braking problems, loud exhaust, increased performance, brake and steering fluid. So we'll start by draining the brake and steering fluid. There's the steering, and there's the brake. Now, in order to get to the timing chain, we're going to need to take off essentially everything on the front of the engine. And which would require us to also drain the coolant. In order to take off that water pump and water pump pulley. Otherwise it goes all over the floor. And that's not cool. Since it's not cool, we cannot abide by it. Right? Right. At least in this game, yeah. Alright, so we got those removed. Let's see if we have another one, which we do. And timing chain as well. Nice. Got lucky that time. Water pump. We even had one of those. Crankshaft pulley. We could put that old one on. At 55. Serpentine belt at 56. Water pump. We will not put back on. Water pump pulley, that is. We will actually have to get another one of those. While we're at it, let's take out this fuel filter and put another one of those back on. Pump. We'll go ahead and get that belt. Get the... Let's hold off on the fan. There we go. I want to get the original, not the one I had in my inventory. We don't have to. And luckily, with the exhaust, looks like we have just one exhaust manifold that needs replaced, so shouldn't have to put it on the lift for that. Do have to order it though. Order completed. check here. That oil filter. I thought we already replaced that, but that's alright. Round air filter we could replace while the vehicle's down here, as we will need to lift it up to get to the braking problems there. So we need to get another one of those. Oh, let me see. Go ahead and lift her up. Right offhand, I can tell you we're going to need a new rotor for here. Caliber is good, as well as the cylinder. New rotor. Right there. Wheel hub bearing's good too, so we can put everything back on. Let me check something out here. So we got about 3 problems with the brakes. So take this. And everything looks good there. Shouldn't need to replace anything there. Replace the brake shoe as well as the cylinder. We'll go ahead and order one cylinder anyway. And brake shoes we already had. There you go. Go ahead and throw that tire back on there. And that should complete the brake problem, so it doesn't. Trying to find where the last one lies. Oh, the rotor needs replaced. Okay, now we need brake fluid, steering fluid refilled. Tuning by 15 to 20. Let me take a look at the engine here. See if there's anything offhand we could do. I'm thinking the intake manifold as well as these carburetors We replace both of those with aftermarket parts. That should do it. And if that doesn't do it, we could always move to the fuel pump for little and the exhaust manifold for big. Increases, that is. And we got a 2.75 increase on that intake manifold. Let's see what kind of increase we can get on the carburetors. 3 each, making it 6. We need 12, right? We need 15. So we'll go ahead and tune up those. That should help. Let me check how much that fuel filter added. 0.6, that's nominal. Let's add one of these probably. No, that's 0.8. Usually they add a lot more than that. In that case, I'll go back to the original idea, which is to replace that fuel pump. 1.8, but it'll still do. So we're gonna tune on the intake manifold. Go ahead and buy those carburetors so we can tune on those as well. Nose exhaust. Well, we're not gonna worry about. We already got that fuel pump. Start with that intake manifold. Still got the same amount of pages, 424. Carburetor should come up first here, and then we'll go to the intake manifold. Tune that, and then, well, fuel pump will come up after the carburetors. Fuel pump. Alright, so now we're going to go to the fuel pump. scan intake manifold. Hopefully that was 4. I think it's more like 3.8 at most, though. It's like 3.5. That's 3.5. 0.8. Put us at 4.3. And that would make it 7.3. And then 10.3 with the other carbon there. Let's put the 3.9, that should do it. 3.9. Air filter base. Go ahead and get an aftermarket air filter as well. Kind of help it out. It's a 1.2 increase. Pull that one. Put in that new one. Take a check. Got the tuning fixed, so now we could start putting in the steering fluid and the brake fluid, and we should be good to go. And with that, we will go ahead and sell that. Once we put coolant in the engine, that might help, you know, just a little bit. Gotta have the drain to coolant to take off the water pump and pulley. And normally I would replace the oil as well, though I don't think we did that this time. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Still made 5100 there. And let's go ahead and see what's up next. Got the body damage there, we'll take that one. Move that to A. And this one's coming up here too, so take that and move it over to B. Alright, we got prio on here. So front bumper, right door window, left body window A. Bumper, right door window, left body window A. And left headlight C, left side mirror, and right body window A. Right side mirror. Oh no, that was the left side mirror we had to do. Yeah, we'll repair them both. Right body window A, trunk window, and windshield. Trunk window. So let's get the glass added here. And we should be able to tune on that. We'll also get that headlight added. Go to the body. This is a Flamo. Is it a Flamo? Yeah, it's a Flamo. Oh. Oh, headlight. Looks like it has aftermarket headlights on it. That's kind of cool. I'll put those windshields in. And we'll start tuning on the parts. Or not tuning, but repairing. Oh, we'll try and break that one. And be unsuccessful in repairing. Apparently, is how we'll do that. That was new to me as well. Put that side mirror back on. Along with that one. Front bumper. $4,000. Perfect. Now we got the Volt Reptilia. Got well, brake problems. And the car is loud. 2 problems on that. Oh, the brake servo's good. Looks like brake fluid should be alright. And exhaust manifold needs replacing. As well as the rear muffler. I'll put that fluid in there. And let's get over to that rear muffler. As well as the brake problems. Make sure all the problems up here. I can tell you that brake pad's probably going to need to be replaced, so we'll go ahead and remove this. Tell by the rust on the ends there. Brake pad. Carburetor. Not the carburetor. The caliper. Caliper is what it's called. We'll need to replace that caliper, as well as the rotor, or otherwise known as the brake disc. Brake pad should be alright at 90. So so we can remove this rear muffler. Go ahead and replace that with a new one. Looks like I'm gonna have to order that. It is a very rare one. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put that in there. And then, what I'd like to do is check on that side and that side. Confirm that's good. Be good to go. Alright. Oh, let's go ahead and see what else we got here. We got a van with brake issues. As you can tell, I like to just take whatever's up. You know, whatever's low on time in the list, I'll go ahead and bring that in. Bolt Atlanta, we can bring that in. That looks like it's got quite a few problems, so save that here for a moment. This one is just brake problems, right? Yeah, so let's check out under the hood real quick. Servo looks good. ABS module and pump are good. We'll go ahead and lift that up. Lift that up. We'll go ahead and take out that car. I don't know why I want to call the Caliber a carburetor for some reason. It's clearly a caliber. See, I'm dying to call it a carburetor. I don't know. I don't know why. Oh, that brake pad needs replaced as well. Seems close enough. And we got one more brake problem. I need to replace that brake pad. New brake pad. And replace that caliber. We're done with that. Let's go ahead and see if your suspension feels loose. Find and fix gear problems. Gears keep slipping, grinding and shaking up gearbox. And refill brake fluid and coolant fluid. So we can go ahead and drain this brake fluid. Well, the steering fluid there, I don't know why I'm draining that, but why not? Drain this brake fluid. And that was coolant we needed to drain, right? Let me see. Brake fluid and coolant, yep. Drain the coolant. Oh, now let's go ahead and lift her up. Check on all those gear issues before we do that. Let me go ahead and check something else. Let's go ahead and fill that coolant real quick. We're going to fill the coolant as well as the brake fluid, and then we're going to run around a compression test to see if the timing chain or the timing gear might need to be replaced for the training issues that sometimes comes up. Kind of a common issue when it comes to training issues. Okay. Let's go ahead. Well, I'm going to take the gearbox off if nothing's popping up on that compression test. As the gearbox does need replaced, so we already see that. Replaced, and the clutch release bearing. Oh, I do believe the clutch will be alright. It looks alright underneath this. Yeah, that's good. Just wanted to make sure. So that's 3 of the training problems that should fix the training. General, we'll just put on this new one here. You have plenty of them. Perfect. Now, before we move further, due to that last order, I do want to put in the starter. 43 is the lowest, so we can put in that 45 starter. Suspension. Increase tuning car by 7 to 12%. And refuel coolant. Okay, 7 to 12%. Let me see what the engine looks like. Unfortunately, we don't have a supercharger on this one. We could do that intake manifold. I guess the fuel pump will have to do as well. That's 7 to 12, right? That was 7 to 12, yeah. Well, the intake manifold, the fuel pump, and the carburetor, I think, should make up for that. Go ahead and get that added. These are the times I wish it came with a supercharger. It'd make it so much easier. Now we'll replace that filter as well. That should help. Oh, fuel pump will be 1.5. And the carburetor would be 3. Too bad we don't have a second one. Intake's 2, so 2.5. 1.5, that'd be 6.5. We're gonna have to tune on that intake manifold as well as the fuel pump, and might as well do the carburetor while we're at it. Okay, so intake manifold, fuel pump, carburetor should be coming up first. The carb to the Raider. Alright. To the Raider. That'll be 3.8, I'm thinking. Intake manifold and fuel. Fuel pump should be coming up next, and then the intake manifold. Fuel. F, come on, F. You know, I'm thinking of joining the Blizzard server for World of Warcraft Burning Crusade. But then again, I'd have to pay for a monthly fee, so I can't do that. It would be fun. I've never beat the Burning Crusade portion. And intake manifold is up next. Oh, bloody hell. What is it now? Unity playback engine is not responding, so should be able to close out of this, and I'm going to re-enter it. Oh, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Please don't look at it. Wait a minute, you guys can't see that anyway. What am I talking about? Reviewing just a game on this beta filter within Streamlabs. Kind of comes in handy because it's a beta and it's a filter. It's a beta filter. Alright, let's go back in here. Alright, so let's see how far it's saved on this. Alright, no problem there. We'll just start here. Well, the suspension feels loose, fix gearbox, we know that's pretty simple. And refill the fluid, so this time we'll target the coolant fluid and the brake fluid only. And just refill those real quick. Thankfully, when that happens, it still saves up to a certain amount of the game. I found out by it crashing on my last stream as well, so that was great. But I'll look into that problem and fix that problem. I'm sure it's probably file integrity. If not, I may have to reinstall this game, but that's no big deal. We'll always resolve. Because I'm the fireman. That's my name. And I'm pretty certain that's not a bug. I think it's a hacker. But, you know, that's just because I know the drive isn't corrupted yet. I mean, even if I have bad RAM chips that corrupt the data that goes into it, I just did a full reinstall of the system, so it's not going to be corruption yet. Since I just installed this game on a second hard drive, which has more than enough memory. It's just amazing how much memory it has. I would like to have more, I'm going to be honest, because you could never have enough memory. Not when dealing with video editing, such as I do for YouTube, or gaming. Both of those take up an immense amount of memory. Especially when you're saving high definition video files. It's ridiculous very quickly. We already know that clutch is good. So we'll just replace this with least bearing. And gearbox. Let's put back on the starter. Just at 45, but that's alright because it's at 43, right? Now we'll move to the back here. We got this fuel pump. We'll go ahead and add that fuel pump to the list of things to replace. Jesus. And we got a sway bar inlink here. Need to replace that. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I have a girl like Catty Corner from me that likes to act like she hacks people's computers, but she's not actually anywhere near that good. So she has a friend do it for her. Sadly, her parents like to act like they don't speak English, even though I'm pretty certain they're running a business out of their house, which normally may be questionable, but in this case, we're in a commercial residential zone, so it's acceptable. But, yeah, it's annoying at best. Trying to remember what the suspension problem was. I'm having trouble recalling what that was exactly. I think it would have been something simple, given I'm having trouble recalling what it was. If it were something difficult, it would be more complicated, therefore compliant with my memory. Ah, look at that leaf spring plate. It's effectively rusted out. Yep, that's at 10%, so we'll replace it. Alright, so we gotta tune that intake manifold, the carburetor, and again, the fuel pump. So I did go ahead and save it just in case we have a problem with the Unity driver or piece of software, whatever it is, crashing. Hardly Unity. It's Disparity, if anything. But, let's see, carburetor. Okay, carburetors will be up first, then the fuel pump, and then the intake. The carb to the rater. Am I thinking right? I think I'm thinking wrong. No, I'm thinking right. It is the carb to the rater this time. I was thinking it might be a caliper. Like, that very well could be a caliper today. That's what I'm calling calipers today, right? Alright, carburetor. Next will be a fuel pump, and might as well get this one tuned too for future use. Fuel pump is coming on up. Fuel. Let's go. Fuel to the pump, and let's go. Fuel pump. Come on. There we go. Fuel filter. Oh, that is not what we're looking for. So we can go ahead and tune one or two of those here, just for future use. And we're almost to the fuel pump. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. I did not get the aftermarket fuel pump. So we're gonna have to go back over that because apparently I am playing retard today. No. Ner, ner. Wait a minute, did I at least get the intake manifold? Jeez. St. Joseph. Jeez, St. Joseph's ball sack. Oh, Jesus. St. Joseph's ball sack. I forgot to put the intake manifold on the list too. Well, we got the fuel pump now. I managed to stop being retarded. And round air filter. The carburetor. And the intake manifold. It's like I put them on the list and then forgot to purchase them. See, this is why it's better we don't have an error that crashes the game, so I could forget everything. It's like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to forget everything. That's how my mind works. Self-sabotage for the fail. Alright, so we did go ahead and get an aftermarket filter tuned up just for this vehicle. I mean, hopefully it'll use that one. And next should be the fuel pump, and then we'll do the carburetor and intake manifold. I mean, I heard the word retarded was back on Kill Tony, so I'm hoping that's not just for Texas and California. That being the Kill Tony YouTube channel, should check it out if you don't. You do have to be at least 18 years of age, I would recommend. Nothing younger. It's terrible as far as humor goes. And you know, you could blame Tony for it, not me. Tony's cool. I mean, Tony's got this. He's a real asshole, so I'm sure he's got this. I like the guy. I hope you guys subscribe to his podcast, by the way, and tell him I sent you, please. Tell him to feel free to leave commentation on mine, too. Even if it's bad. That would be pretty cool. Just leave something. That's the fuel pump, intake manifold. Perfect. So, got the fuel pump, intake manifold, air filter. Should be good. Hopefully. We'll see in a second. One. Carburetor. Two. base and filter cover. Now we're gonna move on to the backup vehicle. Put in that fuel pump. Then we're gonna check. Perfect. On sell that at 3,991. So that should sum up today's YouTube video. And if we look up to the sky, you know, we see some dark clouds over there. It looks about the same as it did in the morning and into my YouTube video previous to this one, to be honest. But I like the detail on the clouds. If you look on this area here, that looks pretty cool. And look out here, and let's see what the traffic looks like. No cars on that end. We're in that end right now. Got a little dust blowing over the road. We don't see that all the time. That's kind of cool. Oh, we got this one. Let's see that. Oh, that's a nice one. Alright. Well, with that, I will be ending this episode today. If you did like this video, please feel free to leave a follow there. I release new videos. Well, you can go ahead and like the video if you liked it. If you'd like to see more of this content, just go ahead and subscribe. I do release a new video on YouTube every Wednesday, and I do go live every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time and YouTube. And if you would like to check out my Twitch channels, I stream twice a week on Twitch for this game, Car Mechanic Simulator, both on Monday and Wednesday from 1 p.m. Central Standard Time to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to follow. I do appreciate any commentation you leave. Thanks for watching. Have a